it to make it a little easier. All right. So if you could walk me through here, here is a draw. We'll go over on this side. We have a customer, and we're going to call this Pepsi. Okay. And then way over here, we have, let's say, Microsoft. And they have obviously great stuff like, I don't know. They have Power
Office,
Platform.
yeah,
And then they have
Office, Cloud.
Office. Let's just,
Yeah,
people know what they are. All right. Between these two is this bananas journey you've been trying to explain to me, which is, I need to keep this logged here. Always show ribbon. Cool. And then walk me through this because you gave me 3 players and they're throwing me off. We got distributor.
Yeah.
And then we got over here, vendor. And then over here, we got reseller. So
okay, so we have
to.
So can you the vendor would be Microsoft, AWS, Cisco, Dell, Lenovo. Those. So it's a 4 pillars, right? Is the easiest way to define it.
Okay.
So these 4 pillars are vendor, distributor, reseller, and then customer, whether it's Pepsi, Coke, Cheesecake Factory, whoever, right?
Yeah.
So the end customer can buy, let's say in the case of Microsoft, it doesn't care if it's Google Cloud, right? Or Google Office, or they want to buy, the laptops from Google.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. Chrome devices are nice, but there's differences, right? And things.
Yeah.
So if I'm a end customer, I can go to a reseller of goods and services like Best Buy.
Okay.
Would be like a thing. Like you go to Best Buy, they got refrigerators, they have, microwaves, TVs, right? Samsung.
Yeah.
Laptops, Lenovo, Dell, all the major ones that like to do business with Best Buy. Best Buy likes to do business with them. They have a falling out for one reason, and they're not selling Dells because whatever, right? It's not profitable for them, or they made it too hard for them to work with, so they can drop that. But it gives the customer choices, right?
Right.
Now, the customer can buy directly from Dell. Go on to Dell, order a computer. After that, there's some support and stuff, but now you've got that support issue that is either going to have to be purchased like a premium support plan, or it's basic level, right? So if I buy a laptop directly from a reseller, whether it was like we were talking Radio Shack back in the day, you can just buy something and the guys there would like help you figure that out. But if you want to do something complex, they wouldn't know anything for the most part.
Right.
So now there's this one-on-one relationship with millions of customers across the world, right? Just in the US and Canada. There's a lot of people that buy their laptops direct online.
Okay.
And then they have problems and issues. They have to buy some kind of support plan. They have to before they even purchase. It's like you go to a Dell website, they have configurators, right? And you can say, if I know the whole specs, well, what if I don't know the whole specs? And what if I have a team of 25 people that office people that manage my factory that makes, parts for automobiles or packages fertilizer to distribute to, home improvement stores or whatever, right? So whatever that product and goods and services I provide, I don't necessarily need to know a whole lot about a lot of stuff. I just know, here is my problem case. I want to do something.
So in the Microsoft example, it would be, is a reseller like Arrow, your company, is that a reseller or no?
Arrow is a distributor. So
all right, well, we'll come back to them in a second. I'll put Arrow over here. So who is an example of like a reseller? Because I assume the example is, what's a company that's a reseller?
They're not known to the customer level. So like the general populace, they don't do it unless they have an office. If a reseller is in the computer industry. A reseller are what they call an MSP, a managed service provider.
Oh, it's an MSP. Okay.
There's fine differences between them. Typically, a reseller MSP is sort of merged into continual roles where they kind of have a lot of overlap. A managed service provider would go and could manage your whole security network, your whole infrastructure, or at least some of that, right? So they're like an outsourced
Let's call them a tech partner.
tech partner. Yeah.
Okay,
That's a good way
but
to
so
say it.
this is one where the customer most likely could go and buy Office and stuff directly from Microsoft, but they would go to an MSP because it's just easier and they can advise them.
Yeah, it wraps it up. It takes that complexity of, well, what laptop do I need? What cloud services do I need? Who's that one person I can talk to, always talk to, or one company, right? And usually there's a rep at the reseller that the company can pick up and say, you're my go-to guy. I have a problem with my Cisco routers. I have a problem with my whatever, right? And then they just call them, and then they go take care of it, right? If I need new stuff, they'll kind of know what I need and they'll provide it.
Yeah.
So the customer can go directly to Microsoft. They can go directly to Google, buy goods and services and laptops, Dell, HP. They all have online ordering portals, but they're kind of on their own. They could buy a support plan, but if they need to talk to someone and say, oh, I want to do this, but I also want to do something where it's integrating with this other thing, and it's a third-party product, right? Our service, platform, whatever. Microsoft's not going to help an end customer like that,
Exactly. They don't want to deal. Going through this has like a lot of issues along the way. For simplicity, you got to really know what you're doing. So they don't want to waste their time. They're a business trying to do business stuff. So for the reseller, does the reseller make money on do they get like a percentage of what they sell of Microsoft to the customer or not?
Yes, they do. So
what do you know what they get? Are we about to talk about
that? It depends. So hardware in general in this industry, hardware, if we go NetApp, large scale storage boxes, laptops, whatever, generally those are lower margin. There's not a lot of play in there.
Let's talk SaaS. So like Power Platform licenses, like share. Do they get a cut of that?
Yes, they do. They get there's percentages for all that from all the vendors, and that's kind of laid out. And then if the reseller has like certifications, then generally, like in the case of Microsoft, and in the case of others, for SaaS offerings, software offerings, the reseller, as they get more certifications, and Microsoft has a plan of, oh, if you want to do all this, you need to get these N number certifications, and those have changed over time from, I used to be kind of in that area with the certifications and all that, and so it would we chase that certification thing, then Microsoft or Google or all these companies change all that stuff, and then so it's a battle, right? But it means that when you get certified for certain things, Power Platform certification, Azure certification, security certifications, it not only means the people on your staff are trained. There's at least a level of, oh yeah, if they pass a cert, we would assume they know what they're doing technically.
And then does the customer see this, or why would you get a cert? Does Microsoft help you out more? What's the
Microsoft for the reseller? With the more certifications, they go up higher in the Microsoft Partner Program, which allows them to get back-end incentives, and it also allows them to, in some cases, get better margins on what they're selling. So So
So they
there's
get a
an
better
MS
margin on a license?
on a license or a SaaS offering or whatever.
Do you know the percentages? Like, is it 5% go to 6%?
It could be, it could be 5, 10, somewhere. And it all depends. And all of these have different margins. So, so we're talking, everything's in like a margin business in this, right? And people want to make money. There's no one in this whole chain other than the customer that is not in it to make money and then won't
Right.
survive if they're not making
Right.
money, which is why, Microsoft wants to make money too. They need to buy a
Got
whole
it.
bunch of new shoes.
Right. So Microsoft has this partner program, and the reseller wants to join it because then they can like get a license. Do they get other perks?
Yeah, they do. They get things like, well, you've got the MVP program, right?
Yeah.
And you get those M365 subscriptions and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and some Azure credit and that you can
Yeah.
use. I was talking to a reseller on the East Coast yesterday, well, last couple of days, a bunch of them actually, but one's getting like 300 to 500 M365 E5 licenses for their own personal use.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And they get,
now we're
they
talking.
can get, thousands of dollars in monthly Azure credit. And it all depends on your certifications. If I'm a small reseller with 2 or 3 technical people, filling out that complete tech stack to get to move up in the Microsoft program. And most all these vendors have the same thing. Cisco has a whole bunch of certification. NetApp has a whole bunch of certifications. Um,
I see. Okay.
so
So I
what
get
it
it.
means is, and the certifications means that Microsoft is going to let that reseller sell their stuff because they, at least on paper, have people that know how to talk about the software or goods and services the vendor offers to a customer. So they know if I give it to them, it's going to take load off of me. If it
So
takes load
can
off of Microsoft or the vendor, then it means, okay, there's less work they have to do to work with the customer, which means, okay, when we're doing a whole lot less work, I don't have a million customers or 10 million customers into Microsoft calling Microsoft every day asking for support. They may have to pay for it, they may not have to pay for it, all depends. So it allows me to trust the reseller as a good representative of my software and services and hardware.
And on that note, so obviously Microsoft wants their, like, for lack of better words, premium people that they like give these special like bonuses to, perks. But can anyone just become a reseller? Like, just show up there and do they fill out a form, then boom, you're a reseller, or is there like a big process?
There's a join-in program for that from Microsoft. So you have to become a Microsoft partner across the board. The distributor and the resellers are all Microsoft partners. Distributors also have people that are certified. We were talking about Rafson. I'll give him a shout out.
Yeah.
He's at my competitor. Was
Yeah.
another distributor besides Arrow. So he's got a gang of certifications. And then that also allows the distributor where he is with SHI to also get value from Microsoft or their other vendors to sell those services. So it's kind of it's almost like, well, I don't drink, but do you drink beer?
Sometimes minimally.
Sometimes. Okay, so Budweiser, Coors, etc. They sell cases and cases of beer.
Yep.
Kegs of beers to bars. All these bars and restaurants and people at the street, they buy it from their grocery store, right? Or they buy it from the local liquor store. Well, those local grocery stores and liquor stores may or may not be buying directly from the vendor. They're generally buying from a distributor that has warehouses in different places to put the stuff in the truck to drop them bottles and kegs at bars or at grocery stores.
Hold on. That makes perfect sense for selling beer. Completely confuses me how the distribute. Wait, tell me if this is right then. Is that
This is right.
Yeah. How Yeah, where does the distributor come in? Because it seems like the MSP is the bridge between these two things, but it sounds like is the distributor just more
It's
technically
a,
gifted?
it's a four link chain in general. I'm going to get confusing here in a minute. Well, I'm not going to get confusing. So vendor side, large, Fortune 100, 200, 300,
Yeah.
500 companies, etc. I mean, they can be smaller. And then Arrow and the other vendors, they have smaller companies that they also do that. And what that allows the vendor to do is because we have this huge number of customers worldwide. Arrow has customers in, almost every country in the world.
Yeah.
We can't do business in certain places right now
Right.
because of reasons. Are just not really a whole lot of value in doing that in certain places where it's just like, well, there's not much people there. There's
Yeah,
not much
it's
business there, so they don't
Trump's
care.
executive order. I'm with it.
Well, not even that. There's things like small countries that don't really have a lot of advanced technical stuff that they need.
Okay, that's fine. But the point is, Arrow's worldwide, so it's like what is a distributor contributing in this whole like operation?
We 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 take that load. So we talked about the customer going to the vendor directly or going through a reseller, and the reseller understands a lot of the things of business, and they have lots and lots of customers, so they understand the complexities that customers see, right?
Yeah.
And so if they're working with a large manufacturing thing that's making widgets for tractors or whatever, and then they're also working with a 10, five hospital chain of a group of hospitals in Ohio where there's
Yeah.
five regional hospitals, and there's an IT company for all of that, and then the reseller can apply things like, oh, the tractor parts company went and used some Power Apps and Power Automate and Copilot Studio, and they were able to get efficiencies from that. And we help them because we understand that, because we have certified people that are really deep on Power Platform to set up Copilot Studio, talk to the back-end data set. So they understand that. So when they go to another company that may have different business needs, they understand the product and how to implement that in a different use case. Right. So they could be like really good at that.
So would you say a distributor is much more technically advanced in a certain area, specializes more than the MSP than the reseller?
No, it's more like an aggregator. So before SaaS offerings, people like back in the day, you'd go if you needed Microsoft Office,
Yeah.
Or Word, whatever, you would get a CD, right? And so to buy the CD, you would buy it at Radio Shack or Best Buy or one of those things. Microsoft didn't want to have to manage 50,000, 100,000 different reseller locations. Reseller is like a store, a Vons, a Safeway, an Albertsons, whatever your local grocery store is. They're just selling all kinds of stuff from other places. But when you walk in the store, it's all there, including the beer.
Yeah.
And the beer got delivered by a beer distributor. And the produce got delivered by a produce distributor, or it came from the grocery store's warehouse, and then it got stocked by a distributor that's bringing stuff in from Chile, bringing stuff in from China, Japan, wherever they source their vegetables, cereal, whatever. So if when you go into let's say you go into a liquor store, hundreds and thousands of different, thousands of different kinds of cigarettes, beer, chips, snacks, all that stuff they have. If the vendor of each of those products, the manufacturer of each of those products had to deal with that number of stores, individual stores, chain stores, and they had to deal with all that, it would be huge for them. And then they would have to have a local warehouses so they can get stuff to the end customer faster and easier.
Okay.
So distribution came in with stocking stuff on shelves. And they used to be called box pushers. before
Mhm.
cloud. You know,
Got it.
before you could buy, stuff like even at Costco, at TD Synnex, we did the licensing. So if you buy software at Costco, you would see like the Xbox Game Pass things you can buy on those little cards. So we provided that. Costco didn't work with Microsoft directly with that. We just said, oh, here's that.
Oh, I see. So all these MSPs, there are. So I think I understand here. So MSPs and resellers, there's like probably hundreds of thousands. Distributors, there's a tiny amount because Microsoft wants to work directly with these distributors. These distributors work with the giant amount. Is that right?
Exactly. And then each of those resellers, MSPs, will have a number of customers that they work with. So
Of course,
it,
right.
it just
Because
makes the
MSP
whole
can only,
flow. And then
yeah.
if you under Arrow or other distributors, we'll have a lot of vendors on our line card that provide other stuff. And so the reseller MSP, when they're asking, their customer is whatever the company is, the company says, hey, I need something to do this, this, and this. And then the reseller would say, well, Microsoft's got a great solution for that. It's easy, low code, whatever. Let me show you what we can do. But then the reseller also needs hardware. And maybe they don't like HP. HP's great things. Maybe they prefer Dell, or maybe they want to do, Chromebooks or something, right?
Mhm.
So the reseller says, oh, I have a relationship with Arrow. Arrow has all that on their line card. So it's a no-brainer. It's like, well, whatever you want, we can add. So we help them understand the licensing. The reseller helps them get product to the customer and advise them on solutions. Oftentimes, the best case is a good reseller, good MSP, whatever function, or some of them are kind of combined. They're like a trusted technical partner that an end customer can say, I've got a problem. I need
Okay,
help with
hold
it.
on. The
And my
MSP is the
people.
trusted technical partner.
Yes.
So the distributor, I'm very curious what the distributor is providing to the reseller. Is it just licenses? Do they give them technical help? Do they like?
No, we get technical help. So it's a large, what's the best way to describe it? Because a distributor is going to have a whole lot more products that they can offer beyond what that one reseller might offer. But another reseller may specialize in Google or Arrow, right? Or,
Yeah.
so we got people like Arrow, Microsoft, Google, uh, AWS,
Yeah.
IBM Cloud, Alibaba, you know,
Yeah.
uh, Alibaba Cloud, not the website.
Right.
So then all these hardware vendors, right? And all these services companies that provide services and stuff. So the reseller says, "Oh, I have a bunch of choices of laptops I can get day after tomorrow,
Mhm.
drop shipped to my customer. What type I
So,
want depends on
uh-huh.
what they have as an offering."
So in this case, Arrow, it sounds like it's providing more than like, I don't know, office licensing and maybe like help. They also have hardware. They also do like laptops and stuff.
Yeah, laptops,
Oh, wow.
big iron. I'm not into. I'm only been at Arrow 2 weeks, so
Yeah.
I'm
But
not
they
into.
offer like anything that an MSP would need.
Yeah, I mean, if you want, I believe my first Raspberry Pi I purchased years ago when I wasn't at Arrow, but I think I purchased it through Arrow, or it came from Arrow. I bought it through some online reseller,
Interesting.
but it
All
was
right. I
provided by
this
Arrow. So Raspberry
I
Pis, routers. Um, if you're a hospital and you want like certified medical equipment to outfit your thing, they have that. They have services they also offer. So their hardware. So distributor aggregates hardware vendors, uh, software vendors, and of course Microsoft's kind of both.
can a
SaaS service
distributor
vendors,
just go
services
then
vendors.
directly to the customer and work with them too?
No, because what we're trying to, so the whole thing is about um, uh, scaling, right? So back to the same thing as Microsoft can only support so many customers with their end customers with their stuff. Microsoft, for direct relationships with Microsoft, there's there's enterprise agreements, but you have to be Citibank or Chase Bank or Ford Motor Company,
you're right.
all these Pepsi,
Yeah, so maybe Pepsi's a bad example. Let's do what is that thing called? Like JC Cola? That Bob's Sandwiches.
Yeah, Bob's Sandwiches, right? And they have, let's say they have a chain of 25 locations in the metropolitan area, right? So it's a big outfit and there's a lot of people. Yeah. It's not a single shop. And so the reseller wants to make money. If they have to deal with 100,000 different people individually with negotiating pricing and giving them support, it's a big drag on the reseller. But if the reseller works with companies, they would have 100,000 licenses or hardware stuff, but it's only 50 companies because each company has 20,000 people or 10,000 people or whatever. It allows them to manage that. So if I'm a single person shop, I just go to Best Buy and I buy my stuff, right? Or I order online. I buy direct from Dell and I have to figure all that out. Or I have, someone that can advise me, right? And the reseller is the advisor, but it's at a larger value where they're working with customers that have more potential income than just one person or 1,000 people or 10,000 people. So
interesting. So because I know through some distributors, at least the mutual contact, it sounded like they are doing client work and they're building solutions, creating POCs. So I'm sure there's some overlap. Last question, and then I want to move on to stuff that directly helps me because we were talking about this, but now we just started creating content, so it was too cool to miss.
No, that's fine.
What do you, if someone wanted to start their own company, or someone is technically talented, we know plenty of those people. Would you suggest they become a reseller or try to be a distributor, or is it easier to become an MSP and then become a distributor? What would you say is more profitable or better?
Becoming a distributor would take a large amount of capital expense.
Never mind.
Okay, I mean a large amount. So warehouses all over the world.
Oh, right. So it's more than just you're good at licenses and stuff. No, you need to handle everything. It's like Microsoft's not going to let you be a distributor and just Office licensing.
Yeah. So Best Buy, let's see, where's another place to buy laptops in general? A lot of vendors, hardware vendors, they have cloud services and stuff, and they have warehouses, and it comes from certain places. I'm not sure where sometimes they're serviced by distributors where they have just store it for them, and Microsoft just pays them to handle it.
So you said that piece earlier of resellers have to get certs and stuff, and then they get perks. And that's funny because that all goes through Microsoft directly. But then when they're buying stuff, they have to go through the distributor.
That's correct. Until they become, and now some resellers, MSPs, can move up the chain and become a distributor with different vendors. That's a whole another complicated thing. And generally, it's when they have enough volume and they've got enough of capabilities. And then Microsoft says, do we have the bandwidth to, work with this company as a distributor? Or, because it's like you could, a company, if you've got 10 people or one person that's managing, Microsoft's got more. They got a lot of vendor managers or distributor managers and partner managers. I mean, there's a lot. They can only handle so much workload. So this is about distributing effort and work across different chains without having Microsoft have to build. We'll just say Microsoft, because Microsoft side on this. But it's the same model for any cloud vendor, any hardware vendor, any services company. All of those things are available through distribution. The resellers can tap into it. Resellers can, work sometimes with the Microsoft or other vendors directly, which happens as well. unless it's VMware. VMware just cut off their reseller network. I don't know if you know how that was a disaster, right? There was lots and lots of resellers that had reseller relationships directly with VMware, and they just got cut off
Gotcha,
because
gotcha.
they couldn't. VMware just didn't want to handle that load anymore.
Interesting. Okay, this is fascinating. So, Michael, I'll edit that up. I'll send you the final version. I'll let you you can give your green light or tell me to edit anything. That was giant derail, but I think it was totally worth it, and I appreciate you explaining it to me. So in all of this, and I'm actually happy you gave me that breakdown because that helps me understand better what you were talking about, Arrow partnering with us for like training, getting that out, which is very exciting for us. So I'm very excited to hear about that. And then you were also starting to like give me advice on like, Sean, watch out for your pricing, don't do discounts. So like I'd love to talk about those things.
Yeah. Are we off record now?
Yeah. Can we stop recording?
Yeah.
And please send that to me at the end of this.